Finally! Hey guys, Infiniti here, and it is 9:26 on the 10th of September. So welcome to Saturday. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Saturday. 11:10, right before our 11:11 gate, and this is video number 2 of 3. We're going to be doing readings 3 and 4 of 6, and what we're doing today, or right now in this video, is Pisces, Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. We have water, fire, earth, and air signs. We have the time frame in the year between February and middle of February, middle of June, and this is the second set in the year for encompassing our whole all the astrological signs of the year. This is the way I was guided to do it in a meditation. If you watched my first video, I explain it there as well, but I'll go over it here really quickly. What we're going to do is a reading for the divine feminine and then a reading for the divine masculine, encompassing those astrological signs. And this is for the Stargate, so the entire period from the last several days through the gate, and then going beyond that into the new month. But it's about the energies that come in with the new gate, about this transition that we're going through, things that we should be aware of, things that themes that may come up, and so on and so forth. So the last 2 readings were really cool for the divine feminine, the divine masculine. Of course, this can apply to males and females, and because we're supposed to be in balance with our divine feminine and divine masculine, this applies to all of us. So our divine feminine side for these signs, our divine masculine side for these signs, the divine masculines and the divine feminines, our female and our male counterparts here incarnate. So you can look at this in different ways, but it's about recognizing the flow of the year, the way that the astrological signs are positioned up against each other, the way that they're in what we're calling astrological groups. So the first set that we did was Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, and Aquarius. So going from this current astrological sign through to Aquarius in this first set, chopping up our year into three sections. So we're having a third of the year, third of the year, third of the year. Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius for the first one, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, and Gemini, then Cancer, Leo, Virgo, and Libra. That'll be the next video. So we're going to get into it now for Pisces, Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. So any of you, Pisces, Gemini, Taurus, what did I miss there? Aries, I gotta get this right. Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini. I always have a hard time with that. Way that it goes. Okay. You know what I'm saying. So we're going to get into it, and then this is what we're doing with this reading, something that I've never done before, which is we're taking 1 card from 6 different decks, 4 oracles, 2 tarots. We're using the Angels of Abundance, the Archangel Oracle, the Dragon Fae Oracle, the Fairy Oracle by Brian Froud, and the Shadowscapes Tarot, and then the Wild Unknown Tarot. And then to round it off, we're going to be doing some cartomancy using my regular deck of cards and getting 3 cards there for numerology purposes, for encodements, for activations, for angel numbers, whatever happens, whatever numbers that we get, you're to pay attention to those and symbols and whatever. We're going to round out the readings with that. So without further ado, getting in here just about 5 minutes in. I'm going to call in and bring them in really, really close. Our beautiful divine counterparts, our spirit guides and guardians, just beyond our perception of sight, but definitely here with us. So if you could please just center yourself, lend in your positive, open energy to receive these messages. I am Infiniti. I am also known as the Archangel Gabriel. I am incarnate here to give messages, help, and healing to my brothers and sisters incarnate who come here to Gaia to help and heal humanity and bring better awareness to who and what humans are, the history of our beautiful planet Gaia and her transcendence and ascendance, and really what we're doing here. And the way that I'm told to do it comes in many different ways, and this is one of them. So let's get this started, guys. We're going to start with Archangel Oracle. And again, just one card. So if more cards pop, I'm either to pick one or put them back and then just choose or see if one just pops. I'm just using one card for each of these decks. And there we go. Victory. Oh, this is such an amazing card. I love this. Victory. Look at this. Archangel Sandalphon. Your prayers have been heard and answered. Have faith. Okay, guys. So what I'm hearing with this now is there was a sense of, am I on the right track? What I'm thinking is about me and what is real and all of that. Everybody goes to this sense of, am I crazy? What's going on? All that sort of stuff. And then it's the surrender into, no, this is real. Life and our planet and humans and people and the world and God and spirit and all of these things is so much more dynamic than I thought, and complicated and simple at the same time. And you start to get all sorts of information about all sorts of different things. And there's this constant checks and balances and real and false and truth and lies thing happening, because so many people have so many different opinions that we encounter and we absorb, and there's all that stuff. So we go through this period where there's a lot of questioning and confusion, and then things start to kind of simmer down and balance out. We start to find our way and all of that. And then eventually we start to really believe, and we start to understand things. We start to see how things manifest. We start to see how our vibration really affects things, how we are in the world, how we react or don't react, how we engage or don't engage, how every little choice has its own set of circumstances and timelines, and everything is connected to everything. And then you start to invest in faith. And like Sandalphon says here, your prayers have been heard and answered. Have faith. And sometimes that's the hardest part, is to let go and keep letting go and not go back and try to grab it and control it, to let go and to have faith and to not second guess and to not worry and have anxiety about stuff. And I'm getting emotional right now because I know that this is what a lot of people go through. I go through this myself. You just kind of free fall, and there is no parachute except for my own faith. That's my parachute, is my own faith in how things are going to go, and the beauty of the unfoldment. And not having the answers and not being in control. But being in control of your own thoughts, your emotions, your vibration. These things are really powerful, and they're powerful lessons that come around again and again and again. We're constantly being reminded, challenged, tested of our faith, not to toy with us or mess with us, or to, give us trials and tribulations just for the F of it, but to strengthen our faith each time that we surrender and we hand it over to our beautiful universe and divine counterparts and our own highest self to take care of business for us and get out of our own way. It truly is very difficult. And this is why I constantly say I would, in so many cases, in so many ways, sometimes just wish to work with animals, because they don't have the hangups and the issues, the control issues, the need to know everything and the second guessing. They just feel and they do or don't do and let go. When you're taking care of an animal and they just let you, you know what I mean? Even if it may hurt them, whatever it is that you're doing, and you can see that they're surrendering to the process because they know that you're there to help them. It may hurt right now just for a little bit, but they get it. And then there's some animals that'll bite you no matter what you're trying to do to them, obviously. So, try to be that whatever animal that comes to you. I don't want to put any specific animal in your mind right now. So whatever animal's coming to you, just imagine it a little injured and you're taking care of it, and it's not fighting you. It's just letting you do it. And it might be difficult, and it might be a struggle, and it might be challenging, but it's necessary to get better, to get on with things, to surrender, to have faith that there's something bigger than you out there for you, helping you. You just have to let go and let it happen. Surrender to the process. You can have full sovereignty and surrender at the same time. They're not mutually exclusive. It's a balance to your full sovereignty. Being sovereign means being open, means being aware. Doesn't mean being 100% in control. It means knowing yourself. Oh my gosh, I just I just feel so much of that for people. I see this struggle to move forward, to get things to heal, and then the pull back from it time and time again. And it's a lot of that is about faith. It's about fear. It's about letting go. It's about what's on the other side. It's about walking through a place in time, a gate where, and please watch the first video because that comes up very, very specifically. And it's really those points in time, these points in time, where we make very profound decisions about ourselves and our evolution, sometimes without even really recognizing that that's what's happening. It's just where you are right now, and that's the choice you're making because that's where you are right now. It's not a judgment. We're just that's where we are right now, and any little choice we're making is where we are right now. And we know this because everybody, once we get to a certain age, has experimented with how we come across to people, how we come across to the world one way or another, and the different reactions that we may get. So we know these things, but we don't understand, we don't take it much further into the expanse of our lives and our universe and the ripples of time and timelines and circumstances and how every little choice is another brick in the road of a timeline, and it's just constantly flipping in so many different ways. And because it can be kind of mind-blowing. So we tend not to do that, but especially at this time when we're getting into timeline jumping and quantum leaps, and that's what Stargates are, is these chunks of time, and the 1111 gate is extraordinarily powerful for this. Super duper setting up our next year where we are right now. We can't just change, like, oh, is this what that's all about? And all of a sudden I'm going to change who I am right now because we're getting into this gate. No, you've been coming up the steps to open the door to this gate. You can't find another block to get up into the door of this gate. You're on this block, you're on this street, you're on this walking up to this gate. Everybody's got their own. It's one big collective gate, but everybody's walking into it separately in your own timeline, in your own world. So it's important to keep these things in mind because there will be challenges. We don't go through gates, we don't go through portals, we don't go through massive points of ascension without big things going on in the micro and the macro levels, both individually, collectively. And I mean individually and then collectively, as like the light body collective, the human collective, and then beyond, and all of the beings that humans are not yet aware of, at least most humans are not yet aware of. Okay, so victory. So positive, so beautiful. Whoops. And we match. Victory is about it's about, first of all, I'm hearing the recognition that you've gone through certain points in time and you have remembered your newfound spirituality or your revised spirituality, this whole new way of being in the world. And you're doing an excellent job at that. It is a victory to not be full of anxiety and stress and worry and projecting negativity and all those things. It is a victory to understand what that is. It is a victory to clear and heal yourself to the point of connection, to understand that that is a totally toxic and will only bring in more of that into your life. It is a victory to get that and to see it play out in your life. It is a victory, most definitely, that a lot of people never work with that magic. So that's the first level. The second level is to stay there, be there, live there, It is a victory to have faith in all things. It's a victory to live divinely guided. It's not easy. It's not easy to be divinely guided. It is how I live. I decided a few years ago, I'm all in 100% divinely guided. I try my best with most of what I'm doing to be checked in to this funnel of perception and awareness instead of this one, and be as in it as I possibly can, so I'm divinely guided. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I always make the right choices and decisions. I'm not saying I always listen and I'm always paying attention. I'm in this very complex reality, and it's easy to get distracted and confused and upset and all of those things. Very easy. So easy. It's so easy. So very easy. And depending on your lifestyle, depending what you do, and depending where you go and what's going on, it's really easy. So for me and my own sanity, me being so ultra sensitive to energies and stuff and picking up on really what's going on with the collective, I've had to so physically remove myself, and even energetically and in interactions and stuff, because I feel it already. I know what's going on. And it can be very, very overwhelming. The more you kind of immerse yourself in that, the easier it is to get distracted at times and to be involved in other things than really what you should be. So that's something to listen to and to think about as well. How much immersion are you doing externally and internally in different ways? Having faith really needs and comes with space. It's very interesting. A lot of the times the direct proportion of faith and space come into play, because you must have space. This is why meditation is so important. You need your space for your faith. So have faith, create space, connect, let go, surrendering in the sovereignty. Holy crap, this one card is taking forever. I'm sorry. Victory, guys. Okay, moving on. Oh, that was this deck. Okay. Next, Angels of Abundance. Sorry, Angels of Abundance deck. Okay, that's the one I'm hearing. That didn't take very long. Face your financial fears. Now, this will tie in really nicely with faith, because that is, our financial fears are definitely one of the, if not the most tippy top fears and reasons for stress and anxiety in our lives, right? So, here we go. When you're honest with yourself about fears of success or failure, they can no longer control you. Be free of hidden fears by exposing them to the light of awareness, and you'll realize that you, in fact, have nothing to fear, and that every successful person has struggled with and released these self-doubts. So, for as much as people can be fearful of failure, people can be fearful of success. And that's happened to me too. I've been like, oh my gosh, here I am. I really want to be busy helping people and doing healings and stuff. And I'm so busy when, I don't have a lot of that going on, and I'm just doing what I'm doing. It's like, how is that all going to work out? And sometimes it's like, and I catch myself and I go, see, that's part of the problem too, though, is that sometimes I'm saying, whoa, I'm not going to be able to handle being so busy and successful. And that's so crazy, because of course you are. Of course you're going to be able to handle being busy and successful. you're busy and successful because you've handled getting there, and everything's going to work out in a way where everything will be able to be handled. And that's a stress that's completely illogical and makes no sense. But sometimes a lot of times people get there because we've seen sometimes businesses and success kind of skyrocket so much, and then the business, the person, the whatever couldn't handle it, and then it all comes crashing down. And so a lot of people are fearful of that big up and big down kind of thing. That's not really, that's not a thing with me. The down part, it's more like, what's going to how am I going to manage everything up there? And of course it'll be managed. It always gets managed. So that's part of it. Everybody goes through these concerns, and it really does tie into the faith thing, definitely. So facing your financial fears, and I'm going to dive a little deeper on this card and read from the book. Almost there. There it is. Card or page number. These aren't numbered. They're just alphabetical. So that was interesting. We're just at 2626. We're on page 60. Face your financial fears. Dear one, this card comes to you because the angels see how your unconscious anxieties have pushed away abundance. Deep down, you worry whether you deserve to receive abundance. In addition, you've been struggling with fear both of failure and of success, which has kept you stuck in indecision and inaction. Fortunately, once you admit these fears to yourself, they lose their power to unconsciously control you. Perhaps it's helpful for you to hear that every person struggles with self-doubts. The human ego is designed to keep people afraid and prevent them from fulfilling their divine destiny. Yep. The human ego is designed. This is how fucked up the ego can be. The ego is literally designed to keep people afraid and prevent them from fulfilling their divine destiny. What's that about? What is the ego charged with? Mostly fears and negativity. That is what the ego is charged with. So if you're charged with mostly fears and negativity, and self-doubt, then yeah, you're going to be paralyzed, not be able to do anything to move forward. It's going to be really, really hard. So dismantle that aspect, and then it loses its power. Thankfully, you're blessed with the gift of self-awareness. You can take an honest inventory of your thought processes and admit that you've sometimes sabotaged your own success. Yes, raise your hand. Be honest about it. Yes, sometimes I've sabotaged my own success. Yes. Because I was whatever. Fill in the blank. There's so many reasons that we sabotage our own success, but it's usually fear of fill in the blank. Anxieties of fill in the blank. Excuses made because of fill in the blank. These realizations are ensuring that you no longer allow yourself to be intimidated. Your decisions are guided by love, not fear. Your decisions are guided by love, not fear. You have faith. You are being guided. You're letting go of the anxieties and the fear of success, having the anxieties of not being worthy of abundance, worthy of recognition, worthy of people hearing and seeing who and what you are and what you have to offer the world, and going and doing your divine mission. It's our divine missions, if we're really doing our divine missions, are so precise in what we're supposed to be doing that there's so many things that sculpt us into figuring out what that is with almost a laser precision, a fail-safe put in there to say, if you can't break through this, then you're not ready for your divine mission. And the understanding of abundance, connecting with the amplified and continuing to be amplified abundance matrix that we're solidifying ourselves into, really needs to be worked and controlled without negatively charged, ego-driven fears and stresses. It just doesn't work. Once we plug in and start feeding the charge with those energies, it short circuits and we're out of there. And then we're back to old matrix. That's just how it works. It's not conducive, the energies. The new energies of the abundance matrix is not conducive with fear and self-loathing and self-doubt and all of that kind of stuff. That's a lower vibrational dimension or frequency that you connect to. Once you rise above that, then you're not connecting to that one anymore. You're connecting to the reestablished abundance matrix, the matrix that was always supposed to be in play, in connected with Gaia. It's within her body, and it's also above her body, and it's constantly feeding back and forth and going up into the universe and connecting with divine source, bringing in the energies of abundance and creation. The abundance matrix is built on creational energy, just like Gaia herself is built on creational energy, and just like the universe itself is built on creational energy. Creational energy is stifled when there's negative energies plugged into it, or turning it into something else. And that is what has been going on forever and ever and ever. So taking that and transmuting those energies, pushing those negative energies and densities out, like Gaia has been doing and we have been doing, to get the abundance matrix back online, is also part of how we're able to see what these fears and doubts and energies are within ourselves that is keeping certain things either working or not working. So we need to kind of pull off the cobwebs of all of that and open up the windows and get this flow going for this business when we're facing our financial fears, just to get rid of all of that, to have faith, get rid of the financial fears. Again, I'm going to read this. The human ego is designed to keep people afraid and prevent them from fulfilling their divine destiny. Please remember that. And your decisions are guided by love, not fear. Your decisions are guided by love, not fear. So keep that in mind. Okay, these are awesome. How far into it are we already? Holy shit. Okay, moving on. To the Wild Unknown Tarot is next. Again, this is for divine feminine aspects of ourselves. Balance, so divine feminine, all this can apply to males as well. of the Death card, people. Card number 13, the Death card of the Major Arcana. Beautiful, beautiful card. Talking about transitions. Nothing ever dies. Nothing ends. It just transitions. And we are going through a transition. There's nothing wrong with the Death card. Death card is a beautiful card. It's transformative. It's a deconstructing of what doesn't work, coming into what does work. And it's really about looking forward. It's really about surrendering to things that, just like we were talking about, letting go of things that do not, seeing things that are in play that are not working, and then changing them. So I'm going to read real quick, straight from the book. Right there. It was like right there. Okay, page number 191. Closure, transformation with the Death card, card number 13. No one loves the sight of the Death card in a reading. We spend most of our lives denying death altogether. So when this card appears, it's easy to get frightened or to think it's bad. Don't let the drama distract you from the message. Something in your life needs to end. It needs closure. This will happen voluntarily or involuntarily. Either way, you will feel a positive transformation begin after the initial forms of suffering have passed. So yeah, with any transformation, with any growth, there's going to be some pain. There's going to be a little bit of drama and chaos and all that stuff. But a lot of times you need to make a mess to clean things up. Gaia has said this herself, and it's very true. And so you're to be aware of that and to try to not add to the chaos and the drama, to try to separate yourself from it, see it from a different point of view than being like so integrated into it, possibly, if at all possible, especially if that involves other people and stuff. But this could very well be, I'm really hearing for a lot of people, this is about employment, jobs. Either you're going to get fired or laid off, or you're going to quit. You're going to be offered maybe opportunities that are so outside of what you were doing. And maybe the money is a little like, oh, I don't know, or it could be who knows what, or you're going to be offered opportunities where you can collaborate with people, maybe new people. Again, follow your guidance, follow your faith, have faith. These opportunities and these things are coming up as a way to push you through a new place in time, a new chapter, and the transitions, right? So when we have situations in which all of a sudden there's just like, whoa, this is gone, or, I don't have this anymore. How, I don't have my job anymore, even though I hate my job and I want my job and I wanted to do something else. I don't have my job anymore. Like, I'm feeling this might happen to people. Or it may come to a point where you're just like, I literally just not going to work today, and I don't think I'm ever going back there. There's going to be some of that. And it's all, I cannot tell you, for some people, that's going to just be the way it's going to have to be. And for some people, it's going to be like, okay, this is the decision, but I definitely have to go back and kind of see this pack this up in a certain way. So it really depends on the situation, but it's almost like, through this Stargate, there's just going to be these boom, boom, boom kind of things, just really forcing us to deal with transformation and changes, and yeah, maybe a little bit of chaos. Also, relationships. There's going to be just relationships just kind of done. Very suddenly, it may seem, but not really. Nothing's really that sudden in these things. The things have been brewing for a while. It's just more of like, okay, we're getting to a point where we just cannot deny this anymore. We're trapped. We went like, woo, and then we're this. And kind of also the same with, I'm feeling in the opposite of that, kind of being like this and then coming into a thing because of things ending. There is going to be this coming together thing happening, obviously. So, one door opens, another one, one door closes, another one opens. That's that whole thing. Please try to keep that in mind. But this is definitely, we're talking Stargate, we're talking endings, we're talking transitions and transformation and all this stuff. And you really got to be aware of these things that are going on and how your decisions are going to, how your reactions and decisions are going to shape the timeline and how, where you end up on the other side, where you're going to be here today, November 10th and 11th, and where you're going to be November 22, 23, which are in itself more boosted days of transition. We're just major days coming up, you guys. So please be aware of that. Drink a lot of water, get a lot of rest, go out in nature, ground yourself, do the meditations that you're guided to do, spend time alone, do all these things will definitely help through this type of energy. Okay, moving on. We're going to the Shadowscapes Tarot. Okay. Six of Wands. Wow. This is interesting. Just got this card in the last one. Okay, I thought I shut you off. Okay. Oh, wait, but my music. Oh, we are at 10:09 on the 10th. That looks pretty cool. I love this. Okay. Okay. Wow, Six of Wands. Holy moly. Look at this. Such a beautiful card. This deck is beautiful. And it's just, there's so much detail. This one doesn't have as much as some of them going on, but take a look at that. It's the same card. I'm just, oh boy. There we are, 10-10 on the 10th. Oh, look at that. Look at all those beautiful 10s. Right as we are getting into the Six of Wands. I'm gonna read what this says. Victory and triumph. So, victory and triumph. Beware falling prey to hubris and lassitude that uncontested victory may bring, and do not become lost in self-importance. Mostly we're speaking about this faith in yourself, the self-reliance, the self this really, this amazing, beautiful, great recognition of self. I mean, look at this. It's like, I'm here. I'm here. I am here. I've reached understanding of what I'm supposed to, what I'm supposed to know about myself, at least to this point. Yes, I got it. Look at where this was a big spot. This was a big spot. And that was a big spot. And that was a big spot. And that was a big spot of understanding. Boom, 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 boom. And here I am. Everybody know about it. And if anything, the thing with, don't let self-importance and hubris kind of get the best of you. It's just kind of know your audience, know who you're talking to, let things go. If you come across people who are just not awake, who don't understand, who won't understand, don't get into arguments with people about spirituality. It's just the dumbest thing to do, and really lowers your vibration. So if anything, that could be part of things, is just don't debate certain things. You can educate, don't debate just for debate's sake. Sometimes people are thrown into our world just to see if it's going to trigger us, to really challenge our zen-ness, our flow. How are we going to let other people jack our flow? And how are we going to master our frequency? All that stuff. Just staying masterful in your frequency. Just any little, is this dude going to fall from there? I don't think so. He's pretty solid. He is pretty solid in where he's at there. And he's come a long way. He's come a long way. And we're hearing victory twice in this reading. That same thing happened in the last reading. And triumph, victory, triumph, this whole thing. You're just triumphant. You're victorious. You're celebratory to these all the newness. So the death card and then the 6 of Wands coming in right behind it is really showing you transition, 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 steps. And we're continuing to do that. That's really cool. It's really, really cool. Okay, we're going to move on to the fairy oracle. I love the fairy oracle so very much. Let's welcome in our beautiful fairies to the reading. Thank you for being here. We're working with the divine feminine aspect for our astrological signs of Pisces, Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. I don't know why. No, that's definitely the one that wants to come out. That was funny. I'm like, what? It's like, no, I'm here. He of the Fiery Sword, card number 4. Oh, these are such good energies, you guys. He of the Fiery Sword. Really, really, really amazingly exciting that this card is coming out for us in the Divine Feminine reading. And I'm going to crack open this book and read all about it for you. We'll see. Oh, I'm so excited. Right next to, let's see what I read here. Michael. This is really deep, intense Archangel Michael energy that is connected with He of the Fiery Sword. So I'm going to go ahead and read this to you. The active principle, spiritual will, justice, protection. When the song comes into any of the manifest worlds, this world or fairy or another, it first encounters two principles, sometimes called yin and yang, or masculine and feminine, or great god and great goddess. He of the fiery sword is the primary manifestation of the yang principle: action, will, movement, force, fire. We see him in many ways, each one an aspect of his total being. All of the great gods and protectors are aspect of this power. And as we know, Archangel Michael is our great protector archangel. And so he's, and he has his sword, and here we go. He of the fiery sword. So these are very, these types of energies. So welcoming in Michael, and he of the fiery sword, this energy now. The fiery sword is the archetype of all magical and mundane swords, and written upon the blade are the words, "Draw me not without cause, nor return me without honor." A member of the Oracle group notes, his fiery sword illuminates truth and dispels not truth. Oh, yes, indeed. Absolutely. We can call upon the master of the fiery sword when we have difficult things to do, when we need to take action that is going to require much of us, both in will and in compassion. Another of the Oracle group reminds us he will do what needs to be done with love. When looking at this card, my neighbor saw it not as a sword, but as a feather of light. He saw it as a symbol of the ability to fly, to rise above things. An Oracle group member saw it as someone reaching up, ascending, surrounded by multiple reflections and filled with light and power. To understand this card more fully, please read the comments on She of the Croc, card number 5, the very next card. They are two halves of the same whole, so the divine feminine aspect. But here we have he of the fiery sword. Take another look at that. I'm like, what? Okay, the presence of the fiery swords master in a reading can indicate that there is a need for clear and focused will and determination to carry through on decisions, even if much effort is required. Or he can tell us that such will and strength is present in regard to the issues under consideration. We need to consider how he is expressing his will and strength and how that expression may be enhanced or improved. Hi, Katie. It is this singer's energy that enables us to burst the bonds of an outgrow way of being and move on to the next level. He indicates that this is a time to take action based on clear spiritual will. So kind of taking us back to this card here. His presence indicates great strength and great potential for good. It also reminds us that if we call upon him, we will receive assistance, most definitely. The presence of this card in a reading radiates strength and willpower to the cards around it. I'm going to read the reverse just so we can see what that is, even though we did not get a reverse, and this is not the message. It's always good to see the other side. So in reverse, like all of the singers, this card does not have a reversed meaning as such, because he of the fiery sword is presence in full measure throughout the universe on all levels. Reversal here speaks of an archetypal energy blocked or unaccepted by the person, by us. The question we need to ask ourselves is, how may I feel strength and will in my life and allow the vital force to flow through? As my wings start to activate. Oh, Michael right here. Michael right here. Oh my God. Radiating will and strength and protection, always with you, always ready to give you that willpower, that when you need a lot of strength to do stuff, to understand things, to push through, to let go, to have faith, Michael, or that, and that energy, that this powerful action energy, this male energy, and it coming through in the I get so itchy when like I see this. Gets me all tingly when this is coming through, this in our divine feminine reading. It's really calling for the surrender to the, I'm hearing a lot of hurts and pains and this whole like, and I'm not saying this in a mean way or anything judgmental about the whole Me Too thing, but a lot of this like energy of excuse me, pain and hurt directed at the masculine is what needs to be like, you know, just dissolved, transmuted. We need to let go of that. So for us and on our divine feminine side, we need to let go of this pain and resentment towards the divine masculine. I'm feeling that a lot. And this even means for men towards men, women towards women, our own masculine energies with some women, or our just that balance really needs to be had, and calling in that the energy of he of the fiery sword, or Michael, and that type of energy into your awareness, and asking for help to transmute, to bring up what things may still be present and charged in your life and in your body, in your energy system, is what really needs to happen now as far as going through this gauge. So this, look at this, you guys. This is so freaking awesome. The Death card, the Six of Wands, and he of the fiery sword. And again, what we heard with this is this card energizes all of this big time. Victory, face your financial fears, get rid of all of those doubts, get motivated, do the work, see, fuck it, everything's going to be awesome. I need to push through. I need to get regimented. This is what's been coming to me. I'm like, I need to get with a calendar and write down the things I'm going to do. And I'm getting information about that coming through to me more and more. And I'm so excited for that, because we've had, messages of needing to be more structured and more regimented. And for so many of us that are flying on the magic carpet of spirituality, it feels like that's an impossibility. Unless we have appointments with people, we have healings or whatever to do. It's like, other than that, even sometimes that is hard to get nailed down. But we're getting to a point, and through this gate, I promise you guys, if you really bring in this energy where you're like, I need to, and I'm ready for this, you know, what takes a lot of strength sometimes is to be regimented. And with a lot of us, we're getting to this point now where we need that in our lives. We need that in order to move forward. During our like dark night, soul understanding, figuring things out, major ups and downs and swings, breakthrough wise, and all this stuff, and understanding when it comes to understanding ourselves and whatever we are up until this point individually, that was a phase. Now we're getting into a new phase where we need action and to be more regimented in things, and really try to make and to just feel into it as it goes. But what I mean about this is, even if you don't have your own spiritual practice or your own business or your own whatever, when it comes to your own creative pursuits, even as a hobby, remember the creational energy and what you do on a creational level is completely, totally tied in to how you're going forward, and everybody creates. So whatever it is that you're creating, it's really important to get regimented about your creations, where that doesn't come naturally to a lot of creators to be regimented about stuff, to be on a schedule, to have certain things in place. This is when I'm doing these things because the energies are so in flux and everything can be whatever. And yeah, sometimes plans get blown out of the water because things happen, but it's really important that for a lot of us, we start to do that. Maybe start off small with certain things you're going to do on certain days, as far as your art or your creations, whatever it is that you're doing, and your spiritual practice. So I'm kind of seeing this on two sides. So we have our, schedule for regimented creativity and schedule for regimented spirituality, and see how they can coincide together on your calendar. And don't blast your calendar with too much. Call in Michael, call in whatever guides that you work with, but he's really good at helping with that sort of stuff. And take it from there. Okay. So just take, this is just super exciting. Super excited. I'm very itchy. I'm very tingly because of this energy coming in. Okay, and last card we're going to get from the Dragon Fae Oracle. Oh, yeah. Okay, everybody. Feeling the dragons come in. Feel that dragon energy. If you feel it, I can feel it. Start tingling, getting warm in a very different way when the dragon energy starts coming in. And for those of you who may not be aware, dragons are angelic in origin and creation. Very much tied into angels and archangels, and work with us in being our guardians and our guides, just like angels do, because they are the angelic realm. Guess that's it. No doubt about it, we have the Dawn Watcher. Okay, I really don't not say that about any Dragon Fae card, I've got to admit, but this is such a great card. And such great energy. Where are we, Levy? Here we go. The Dawn Watcher. Bells will ring. The Dawn Watcher speaks. Never think that you are alone in this world. You do have guardians, and I am one of them. I will literally ring along of forewarning and foreknowledge. There is nothing to fear when you receive these messages. You simply need to pay attention, take note, and act when the time is right. I will always alert you when it is my particular domain and charge to watch for the new sky as the sun rises, to let you know that what you have hardly dared even hope for has every chance of coming true. Hearing again, faith, faith, faith. Watch for the sunrise and know that as she does, so too do your hopes. Ring for you. Sleep. About the Dawn Watcher. The Dawn Watcher is a vigilant dragon fae goddess who can shape-shift at will, and whose small side belies her enormous commitment and strength. She will always give you foreknowledge, be it literally by warning bells going off through premonitions in the form of dreams and deja vu, or of physical reactions to particular energies. She only awakens when you pay her bells I'm sorry, she only weakens when you pay her bells no heed, when you will not wake up and hear the call. Listen more respectively to those bells, to the dreams, to the shivers of prescience that know that you are always being told through your body and your mind and your spirit of what is to come. So physical sensations, it literally errands, it could be, it very like literally could be, and sometimes it could be dogs barking, it could be all sorts of stuff that gets your attention, to make you pay attention. And when these things happen, think about, or try to remember what you were just thinking about, what's going on at the same time. Okay, divinatory meanings. Spiritual awakening, premonitions, and forewarning are strong right now. Pay attention. Signs coming through in ordinary and seeming coincidental ways. Pay attention. Precognitive dreams, especially in the early hours of the morning. Clairaudience and other forms of sixth sensory information gathering, strengthening and gaining urgency and purpose. Clairvoyance is clear seeing. Clairsentience is clear knowing. And empathy all are very strong at this time. Watch for messages from the animal kingdom and for the opinion with you now. So a lot of dragon energy coming through for you. I think getting here as far as transformation and new time, new changes coming, new things going, be doing, what you should be paying attention to, where your energy is, and feeling into the energies of every day. We talked about the sun and paying attention to the sun, being awake in the early hours. So a lot of people, if you're not already experiencing this, which I'm sure most people do, is being awoken really early in the morning hours, 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning sometimes, and you'll just know things. You'll be inspired to do things. This happens all the time. Also going to sleep with questions, waking up with answers. I talked about that in my last video, I think. And okay, we're going to go a little bit further here. Working with the Dawn Watcher, it is time to be alert and aware, to arise early and pay attention to the signs that abound around you, selectively though. Focus on your mission at this time and work towards it. Be determined and do not allow others to distract you. Call on the Dawn Watcher to assist you to focus on the messages that are most worth hearing, and so that you do not go into fear. The Dawn Watcher is a very powerful guardian and will help you greatly by alerting you with plenty of time. All you need to do is, again, pay attention. So I think I said pay attention, and that's written in here like 4 times. Pay attention. So you need to have a less chaotic environment and make space for that, so you can pay attention, so you can get the information that you're supposed to be getting. And if you have bouts of times with fear or anxiety, especially in these next several days with whatever may happen, to kind of slow things down. You do have time. It may seem like there isn't time in a lot of situations, but I'm getting there is more time than we know. There is more hope for amazing things to happen if we allow for it to go on. And let's take another look at the Dawn Watcher. Look at her glow. So beautiful. This is the counterpart to the Time Guardian, which in one of my not so long ago readings, they both came up in a reading. It was the Dawn Watcher and the Time Guardian, the two kind of counterparts. I call them the couple. And but today we have the Dawn Watcher, and if we can witness the sunrise, if we can witness the sunset, these are good things to do too, I'm being told. We're looking forward. Just to wrap this up right here, see what I get. So we have face your financial fears, victory, death, Six of Wands, Key of the Fiery Sword, and the Domination. And all that I'm hearing right now is catch yourself if you're projecting. And what are you projecting into the future? What are your thoughts about the future? What are you projecting into the future? Is it positive? Is it negative? Is it like a stressful thought or projection? Is it a positive, love-filled thought and projection? And to try to be as diligent as you can, mindful about these things, especially through the gate. Don't know how to stress that enough. It's especially important through the gate, extremely important through the gate that you keep this in mind. If you're stressing, if you're worrying, if you have an anxiety, catch yourself doing this. Don't beat yourself up for it. Just catch yourself doing this, turn it around, flip it, do 180, change it. Be in control of that. Okay, and then we're going to do our cartomancy. We're going to pick three cards from the deck here. So we got the 10 of clubs, 10 of clubs. The 7 of hearts, so 10-7. And we also got the Joker. This actually came up in the last one too. This is showing us again. So we get a bonus card here. This is showing us, look at, we have the world, we have energies coming down, we have these stars with the circles talking about Stargate. We're specifically looking at this 7 or 17, 1, 0, and 7. We're going to get one more card here. I swear sometimes. Butterfingers. I can't even grab it either. Wow. 2 of hearts. Oh no, that's not bent. Something got on it. So 7 of hearts, 2 of hearts. I'm hearing 9. So 7 and 2 makes 9. We have 10. So right now I'm hearing pay attention to the 19th and the 17th. We have numbers of 1, 0, 7, 2, 27, 72. These numbers come up a lot. Also looking forward to the 27th. Also, the 27th of every month is also a power ascension day in its own right. So definitely getting that right here. We're getting energies for divine union more. We're really, this 1 and this 0 is really driving home the portal. If you just kind of see that imagery there. And also whatever else it might mean for you personally, these numbers coming up for you. Okay. Alrighty, guys. So here we have it, rounding out the divine feminine for Pisces. And let's see if I can do Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini. Oh my goodness, where's my problem with that? Yeah, just have a hard time. Okay, guys, so we're going to put all these guys away and start with the divine masculine. We're already, oh wow. We're already in this for an hour and 16 minutes. So at 1:16, we are starting with Divine Masculine. Okay. Ready? I'm going to start with Angels of Abundance. Cooperation instead of competition. This card comes up a lot. What's yours is yours, and no one can take it from you. There's no need to compete, and there's abundance for all. You have complete access to unlimited abundance for yourself and to share with others. With cooperative partnerships, you can accomplish anything. So, you guys, what I'm hearing in 4, our divine masculine aspects, is to start to work on trust, building trust with other people, opening yourself up to collaborations, opening yourself up to the understanding that if you collaborate with somebody, it doesn't mean necessarily that you're 100% in line with everything they think and feel and believe to be true in the world. It means that we need each other to move forward in the world. And instead of competing with beliefs and ideas or circumstances or being jealous of what people have or what you don't have, it's about unifying collectively, working together in a way in which is different from anything you've experienced in the past. It's not the same as it has been. There may have been some situations in the past with people where, partnerships, didn't work out, but you're different now. Everybody's different now. Things are different now. And it's time for this. We need each other. I mean, there's no way we're going to do our divine missions all alone. It just doesn't work that way. We're supposed to work together, even, small scale, large scale, real daily immersion and involvement, or here and there, one way or another. We're meant to help each other. And there's so many people that want to help other people, and but there's so many people still doing that mostly alone. And there are collaborations that can be had and people working together in a way where success for the collective mission really starts to take shape and form. And so it starts with this type of energy. Okay, moving on. Archangel Oracle. We have healthy lifestyle with Archangel Raphael. Eat a healthful diet, get adequate sleep, and exercise regularly for optimal health. Yep, be healthy. It's really going to be important through this gate to do what we need to transmute energies, do as much And this came up in the last reading also about diet. The lovers at the feast came up in the last one. So we are really, as I'm being reminded, we are, and the lovers at the feast is a dragon fae card, and that came up in the last reading. And so here we are again with Raphael in this reading, talking about the need to, what I'm hearing is there's a lot of people, maybe, more on the male set, that really need to let go of this whole meat eating thing. And there's just, just turning the page on that, just at least trying it, at least try it. You're gonna feel better. You're gonna lose weight. You're gonna sleep better. You're not gonna be so anxious, depressed, and stressed. All of these things come into play when we're eating meat. I've talked about this at length in different ways, in different places, and it's going to be something that's just going to go on and on and on, because it just is what it is. We need to regulate and be better in balance with what we're taking in. More fruits, more vegetables, more water, drink herb infused water, put mint and sage in your water, bless your water. Don't eat so much processed foods. Drink more juices, fresh squeezed juices if you can. Get a juicer if you've been thinking about get a juicer. Make smoothies. I love smoothies. They're my favorite thing. Sometimes I have smoothies for dinner. I'm like, I don't really feel like eating anything, but I'm hungry. Smoothie, I'm guided smoothie, and it sounds fantastic. And people make their smoothies all different ways, so just whatever. But it's really about eating better is the big one here. Eating better, big one here. Obviously sleep. Your sleep is going to be all over the place. I'm hearing that if it's not already. Sleep is definitely an all over the place, just energy fluctuations and going through this gate. But there's going to be more sensitivity as to food, and pay attention again to what you're eating. Listen to the Dawn Watcher who would come in and be like, hey, yo, don't do that. And don't just eat to eat. Don't just be like, well, I went to this party and this is what they had, so I ate it. Just because it's there doesn't mean you have to eat it. Really doesn't. I've had so many people tell me that, well, we had this thing at work and they brought in food and it was chicken whatever, so I ate the chicken because it was there. It's like, interesting. Why? It's not working for you. So a lot of people do this thing. Well, it was this meal. They compartmentalize the problem. It's this meal. It's this meal. It's this meal. It's this meal. No, it's it every single time. Every single time might affect you a little bit differently, but you're going to be tired. You're going to have an upset stomach. It's not going to be great on your poop shoot. It's just, if things are not going to go well, and you're told this ahead of time. If you're paying attention, no, I shouldn't, or yes, I should. This is what I should. And your cravings should really give you a good indication. So pay attention to your cravings and all that. You're going to get better sleep. And of course, exercise. If you can just go outside and take a walk, that would be fantastic. And as long as the sun is out and it's a beautiful day, go outside and take a walk. Be in the sun. Be in nature as much as you can to exercise to the best of your ability. Do yoga. You don't have to go anywhere. You can do yoga online. You can follow practices. Just all of that. Just you want to try to, I'm hearing, detox your body through a gate is the best thing. I love doing healings during gates because people get like the maximum benefits. It feels like during gates, it's just super, super powerful. So if you've been guided to do any type of energy work or detox or cleanse or anything like that, this would be the time to do it. It'll help you with energies if you change some stuff about your lifestyle at this time, however you're guided to do it. Okay. And we're going to move on to Wild Unknown Tarot. We're doing this one? Okay, that's it. We have the 9. This is 9, right? Yeah, 9 of Pentacles. This is another card that there's a few cards in this deck that really signify portals, and this is another portal card for me. Whenever I see this card, I think portal. I think that's pretty easy to see why. It almost draws you in there. So this is also, I'm speaking directly, if you could see that beautiful diamond that we have there, the reflection, the beautiful 9 is so powerful. 9 of Pentacles with the feathers, all this fiery energy going on here. So really speaking about expansion, I'm feeling intense third eye energies here, expansion, understanding more about your past. Well, there's really no such thing as past lives. It's more like, you know, current, like concurrent lives or current lives, whatever. We'll call them past lives. Learning more about your past lives, really what's going on with your soul story as you pass through this gate. There's been more activations going on in the last month and through this gate that will that is lending itself to being afforded more access to the Blue Nebula, also known as the Akashic Records. And so there are some people that are getting more and more access for themselves and for others, depending on your divine soul mission. So this is in direct proportion to that. So you may be feeling through this gate and beyond, getting more and more flashes or understandings when you're in astral, when you're in meditation, in your dreams, when you wake up, just having kind of a better sense of your knowledge from other lifetimes coming in to assist you in this lifetime. That's kind of the point. It's not just for like, oh, what did I do? What have I done? Where have I been? Who am I? Blah, 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 blah. Just for like, just to know. It's for practical reasons. It's for practical knowledge, informational reasons that we are given this access. And I talk about this in another video. What video that was, where I talk about gaining more access to the Akashic Records, where we're going to be, I think that was, I have to see and I'll link it. But it's about, there's just kind of this misnomer that everybody can have full access to the Akashic Records, and that's not how it works. Not everybody has access to the Akashic Records and everything that's there. You have to, just like we go through, just as you're going through gates to gain access to your own ascension and knowledge, you have to do that same thing to gain access to the Akashic Records and to be able to get to places within the Akashic Records, which is basically the brain of creation, the brain of Mother, Father, God, and everything that has ever taken place is recorded within the Akashic Records. It's, to say vast is, crazy talk, is quite the understatement. So we have the potential to access different points to get different points of knowledge and reference within the Blue Nebula, but it's not all available to us at any time ever. We need to get there. And the Pillars of Creation portal, the 1111 gate, what we're getting into, what we're just coming into, is about also gaining more access into that. So that is a big part of it too. I'm going to grab the book and read directly from this and see what else comes. Nine of Pentacles, happy, healthy home, always a welcome card. The Nine of Pentacles is a time to enjoy the many results of your loyalty and hard work. This may be a promotion at work or newfound stability and happiness at home. Even if it's even possible that you'll find yourself enjoying the finer things in life, as luxury and refinement oftentimes accompany this card. So again, abundance coming in, happiness, fulfillment, going through the gate, understanding more of ourselves. The more we understand of ourselves, the more happy we're going to be. Definitely. The more we could tap into that. I'm also hearing like the inner child thing, really the creative aspects of ourselves. That'll make us happier. Just all of this kind of going on. These two things being very much connected with how healthy you are, how you go through, how you go through gates. And acceptance. I'm just hearing a lot with this acceptance thing. Your acceptance of yourself and of your circumstances, of your divine soul mission and who you are is going to be in direct proportion to your happiness and your abundance in the future. Because if you're stifling the reality of who you are, if you're not putting in play everything that's about you when you get this information as you go forward, you're not going to be in place to receive as you're meant to. When you do, then the abundance starts flowing for sure. So there you go. Nine of Pentacles. Great, great, beautiful card. Okay, moving on to Shadowscapes Tarot. Oh, got it. Got it right here. Oh, wow. What a card. What a card. King of Cups. Look at this. I'm going to get really up close because, like I said, you guys, these cards are super intricate. We have turtles. We have seahorse. He's looking through all. They're looking at each other. He has this huge cup. So that he has a very small little face, though. There's his face. There's his cup. King of Cups coming through in our divine masculine reading. This is beautiful. I'm hearing partnerships, love, loyalty, beautiful surrender to the light, to guidance, to divine union, to the truth. Really stepping in and stepping up. I'm kind of getting this vision of like this lion just like walking and kind of looking out over everything and just going, this is me. This is who I am. This is reality. Just absorbing it all in. And being really excited. I'm going to read also from our little book here. King of Cups. Opened up right to it. He is wise and understanding. He knows the meaning of patience. He cares for, protects, and watches over all of those who are near him. Near to him. Right? What is that? He is wise and understanding. He knows the meaning of patience. He knows the meaning of patience. Isn't that a beautiful thing? He cares for, protects, and watches over all those who are near to him. A true nurturer. So really this like beautiful like Papa. Yeah, this beautiful daddy Papa nurturing energy that is really making me emotional thinking about it. It's really, really beautiful. I watched a video earlier of these two gorillas playing, this father gorilla and this adolescent gorilla, and just them interacting and playing. This is what I saw right there. It's just absolutely beautiful. So I'm really feeling that very strongly here. This nurturing, beautiful male nurturing energy, and also I'm feeling being that for yourself, being that beautiful male nurturing energy for yourself. So divine masculines, those of you males out there who maybe didn't have the best role models as in male form for you, and looking out and finding it in other people, of course, throughout your life. But being that for yourself, taking yourself on camping trips, cultivating this relationship with your inner child, is extremely important. And I'm really feeling that greatly. Connecting deeper with the truthful, patient role model. And I'm hearing for the counterpart to that, seeking the same in your partnerships, in your divine feminine. If you are a divine feminine, seeking this for your male aspect, for your counterparts. Just having this in this beautiful energy. Thinking of that type of person as the males in your life, and being that strength and loyalty and patience and love and kindness and all of those beautiful nurturing things, and setting that kind of authoritative archetype aside, and being like the adult child ultimately is such a sweet spot. And when we see men in that spot, it's rare to see a man in this day and age in that peaceful place, nurturing and giving and loyal. There's not, at least for, just on a grand scale, there's not a whole lot of that. There needs to be more, and there are. It's just those people need to be really pushed out into being the type of masculine energy that people see more, I guess, is what I'm getting at here. And this is coming through big time. So within this gate, either coming into contact with this type of person, feeling this more for yourself, all of that kind of stuff is really, really coming into play right now. Opening up the doors for these people this type of person to come into your life. Also, I'm being told they do exist. They are real. It's not a fantasy. These men are out there. They do exist. And don't say and don't think bad thoughts about men. If you are a man, if you're a female, please just think beautiful, loving thoughts about men and the type of man or men that you want in your life, either as a friend or a romantic partner, as a business partner, as any of these things, people that they can be in your life. These are the thoughts that we're supposed to be putting out, especially during this gate. So while in the other reading, kind of things came up about things coming up from the past, maybe I think that was the first video. This is allowing kind of for the new future energies. And maybe there were males in the past that you knew to be a certain way, but there's been a lot of transformation. A lot of transformation with, what is it, kitty? A lot of transformation going on within the male collective. A lot. So people are not who they used to be, and allow for that evolution. Okay? Beautiful word. Man. Emotional. Whoa. I'm gonna post that video on my Instagram. I saved it. I'm gonna post it because it's just absolutely beautiful. The gorillas I'm talking about. So if you follow me on Instagram, oopsie. If you follow me on Instagram, a whole bunch came out, so I'm just gonna shuffle. Check out my Instagram. If you don't, please follow me. It's Infinite. I'm at Infinite Love Light Energy. Oh, there we go. We have Indy. This is Indy. Let's read about Indy. Indy, indecision, wishy-washing, commitment, decision-making. All right, here we go, guys. Card number 63 on page 172. We're going to. If you don't get him on the wish, you might catch him on the wash, but probably not, because by the time you think you've got a commitment from him, he's swung the other way again. Poor Indy. He can't decide between this and that, or is it that and this. If he just had more information, if he just had some kind of guarantee about the outcome, if only he could be certain about things. Well, he can't. That isn't how life is. Indy sits on our shoulder as we wobble around trying to make a decision. And just as we think we've about got it, he mutters, "But what if?" And very likely we dissolve into confusion again. Decisions make him nervous because they involve commitment, and Indy seems to be frightened of that. What if he makes the wrong decision and it ruins his or someone else's life? What if he makes no decision, dithering forever, and that causes ruin? I feel for Indy, and not only because I'm a Libra, this is the girl writing, for he is the only one of the fairy challengers who doesn't know what we should be doing. That is, he knows we should be making our decisions clearly and cleanly at the appropriate time, and he has some ideas of how we might more easily go about that, but he is not himself a good decision maker. Sometimes he wishes almost tearfully in my ear, "You're going to drive me mad, if you don't just make up your mind." There are many reasons why we hesitate when decision and action are appropriate. However, most of them boil down to fear. Absolutely. Fear of making a mistake, fear of harming others, fear of losing something of value to us, fear of harming ourselves, fear of responsibility, fear that we are simply not able to make a proper decision. We need to look honestly at our insecurities, recognizing them for what they are, our insecurities, not reality. Like 99% of our fears are not based in reality. They are constructed stories we are adding our creativity to and buying into them. They're not real. They're not real. Most fears are not real at all. Conditioned responses to situations and outcomes that haven't even come close to playing out is most of the time a fear. Like when people meet somebody and they really, really like them. "Oh God, I'm afraid I might fall in love, and I'm afraid things might, go really great. And I'm afraid. I'm like, what? You're afraid of what? Don't be afraid. Be excited. But we tend to be in fear because we're afraid, so much change happens, right? And so we tend to be in fear. Then we need to resolve what we can and set the rest of the balance against what we should. Okay, I'm going to read this again. Then we need to resolve what we can and set the rest in balance against what will surely happen if we continue to hesitate. Premature decisions and actions often create problems, but lack of decision is a decision also, and one that creates its own set of misfortunes. Indy is also known as the Libra's bane, but an indecisive Libra truly is Indy's bane. He would be so relieved if we would just make our decisions and our commitments and stick to them. Then he might learn to do this for himself to be in a better position to help others. Oh, listen to that. Caught up in Indy's energy, one of the Oracle group member, who is usually a great decision maker herself, responded to the above paragraph. You lost me here, she said. How would our learning to make decisions help Indy to make decisions? Would it really? Then what would he do? How would he better help other beings having problems with this? Or would the other beings that are having problems cause Indy not to learn to make his own decisions? Or are there no people that Indy knows that he can learn from now? So that could he be different? Or are we talking global change here? What I was trying to say was that sometimes it is possible to learn from watching others learn. Indy would like to do this. Then he might be better able to teach these processes, or perhaps not. At least I think that is what I mean. The Unity card number 1, knows there are plenty of beings who need help with this. It's decision time. Time to make up your mind, make a decision, then stick to your commitments. Set yourself a definite time period to complete your decision, right down to the day and hour. Give yourself time to put the decision into practice before it is too late. Once that arbitrary but carefully judged decision time is set, ask for guidance for your highest good. Then weigh, consider, ponder, and gather information. If we do this, and if we have asked for aid, the answer seems somehow to fall magically into place at the appointed time. Then it is just a matter of trusting that answer and carrying it through. We can ask for help with that as well, if we wish. It is willingly given. So again, we have this whole thing with trust, right? Trust, fear, faith, this whole thing. Okay, if it's in reverse, which it's not, but I'm going to read to you. I'd like to read the reverses. On the other hand, Indy may be right to hesitate. He may not have enough information to make an informed decision, and neither may you. Hesitate while you question, find out more. True, we never will have real guarantees from the universe about our decisions and their outcomes, but caution is appropriate here. Learn more, get agreements in writing. If it doesn't feel right, maybe it isn't right. Consider well before you make promises about this, but once you do make a commitment, stick to it. So it's decision time to make up your mind. So again, we're going to be going through this gate where there are going to be times where we're going to need to make decisions. And like I said at the beginning of this reading, or the last one, when we're constantly making choices and decisions, that's what we're doing. When we hesitate, there's a reason for that. We need to explore, why are we hesitating? What's been our hesitation? Why aren't we moving forward? This could very much, that was the last reading. I get them kind of blended because I keep thinking about these cards, like the fear of financial security or face our financial fears. That's kind of part of that too, this whole thing with indecision and stuff. I mean, we all have that. It could be also part of procrastination. So procrastination really is rooted in indecision and fear. So that's something to look at as well. And He just has this kind of, I don't know, look on his face. And but the really cool thing, what I'm hearing from this right now is I give you the different perspectives to look at. It's your job to decide what's the right perspective to see from. And I'm on board with you to, and I want you to stay with that decision instead of bouncing all over the place, because you can't move forward if you're constantly in a state of indecision. It just doesn't work. This is also part of why it's so important to know yourself, to remember yourself, to get and be as healthy as possible. Because the more that you are in, boom, I'm doing this, I know this, because I'm guided, I have faith, I know I'm not like, oh, what should I do? A lot of times though, and I did a video about this called timeline paralysis, and that's kind of tying into this indecision thing where we can take it and we can just really just sit there as we're understanding how timelines work and how the universe works and how choices and decision works, where we can sit there and we can just watch one decision play out into a certain set of timelines and just watch that go and go and go and go. We can find another decision and do that same thing. And we can find another one and do that same thing. This could be for as simple as, what am I going to do today? Am I going to go for a hike and a walk? Am I going to do the laundry? Am I going to do some art? Am I going to wash the dishes first and then clean my room? Am I going to go gardening? Am I going to go to the store? Because any single one of these things is going to take you in a different direction. Am I going to watch that movie? Am I going to write that in my journal? These, and then there's the big ones. Am I going to quit my job? Am I going to take that job? Am I going to buy this car or that car? Am I going to move here or move there? I'm going to buy this house or that house. Am I going to go on that vacation or this vacation? All of these choices is just a whole other encyclopedia of outcomes that come with it. And this sometimes tends to lead us into timeline paralysis too. So that's kind of coming up too. We can't really stay in a timeline paralysis too long, especially in a gate, because it's just not the way the energies work. We need to, just like it says here, it's decision time. You have to go, go, go. And things move very quickly in Stargates and beyond. And this month is definitely going to be one of those things. So it's about making decisions about yourself, seeing where you haven't made decisions, seeing where you've been like, I'm going to do this, and then you haven't done it. I'm going to do this, and I haven't done it. I'm going to do this, and I haven't done it. Why? Why aren't you doing it? What is stopping you? What is your fear? What is your indecision? What is your confusion about? And when you pinpoint those questions, put them out to your guides and guardians to help you with that and allow for the answers. Pay attention. Remember, in our last reading, we got the Dawn Watcher, and she's there to help us, to give us information about stuff, to help us make decisions, to help us do things. So we need to, and then she's just one. So there's a lot of help that we have that we can tap into, so we're not stuck in indecision. So we know what to do, and that also comes into that, like I were talking about planning things as well. That'll help. That will really help, because then we don't have to make the decision. The decision's been made for us. This is what I'm supposed to do right now. And unless I'm guided to do something different, this is what I'm going to do right now. It's on the schedule. This is what I'm going to do right now. This is, I'm hearing, is really going to help a lot of people too. Okay. Okay. Next, almost 2 hours here. We're going to go into our Dragon Fate Oracle. This card right here. Let's see what we are. Oroki. Boundaries. Ooh, this is good. Haven't seen him in a while. His face. I love his face. We got crystals. We got feathers. We got purple. We got green. Oh my God. We got all my favorite things. Purple crystals. We got amethyst. We've got a beautiful dragon going. Okay, Let's read from Oroki. Card number 34, 3-4 right here. Gosh, I haven't seen you in a while. Here we go. Boundaries. Oroki speaks. All right, here we go. Come here, lovey. Let me see you. Oh, come on. Hi. Hi. How's your ouchie? How's that doing? Boy. Got into a fight. Got a big hole on his head. Hi, lovey. So I've been healing. Okay, here we go. Let's welcome Oroki and listen to what he has to say. Beautiful Oroki. Okay, here we go. My makeup all over the place. I hate that. Why don't you tell me? Oroki speaks. I have always had a difficult role, as is yours at present. Are you stuck? Aw, Katie. His nail is stuck. There you go. You okay? What happened? Aw, baby. Come here. Gorgeous boy. Lay down. Lay down. Lay down. Lay down. Where's my love? Where's my love? Okay. I've always had a difficult role, as is yours at present. You, like I, have a choice. Oh, decisions. Do you stay where you are and defend what is yours, or do you trust that I can take care of it for a time for you and move forward into a new era? For here I am, willing and quite able to protect this treasure, and yet you will not move forward. Take some time away from responsibilities at this moment and trust that all will be well. If you fear for your material well-being, I am here to tell you that the nest egg you ever created, the treasures in your hidden trove, will be protected. But you must take the necessary steps. You must be able to move away from your home, your work, your bank account, your treasures just for a moment. As to stay and stare at them will not satisfy you. Yes, they are beautiful, but you must trust that they will be here when you return, for I am the guardian of them. And while my guard is here for you, none shall slip by me. About Oroki. Oroki is a dragon fate being who is absolutely treasured in the East, as he watches over the family's wealth and prosperity, just as he shall watch over yours. Though he is tiny, he is fierce and strong and allows no one to slip by him. He is vigilant and watchful and has your best interest at heart. Yes, he is also a suspicious being, but that is just as well, for it saves you having to be on guard. When Oroki comes forward to greet you in a reading, know that he will guard your belongings. You are safe. Divinatory meanings. Correct security measures needs to be in place. Insurance on property and valuables must be updated. Take care to love your pretties, but not be owned by them. Allow yourself peace of mind with your valuables. Thinking too much of your security. Take practical steps for self-defense and energetic health and well-being. Guard your wisdom well too, as the jewels Oroki protects can also be that of your wisdom, experience, and talents. Do not give them away lightly. Working with Oroki. Care for your belongings, secure them, and create a home that is safe and free of disturbance. Defend what is yours by creating energetic boundaries, real physical boundaries, and knowing that they are safe. Do not be frightened of robbery or someone stealing what is yours, but take all practical measures for protection. If you have these fears, contemplate whether Oroki is encouraging you to take firm practical steps to be more of a guardian. One's once these are in place, allow yourself peace of mind to call him to protect your treasures. He is vigilant and a very formidable guardian. Such great energy here. And really, very much speaking on the heels of what we were talking about. Are you stuck again? Why do you keep getting stuck? You silly boy. Really on the heels of what we were talking about with Indy, decision making. This is what he's saying. You have a choice. This opens up with you have a choice. Also, what is yours will stay yours. So any of this fear of losing things, of things changing to a point of you not recognizing, you know, your own life and what you have and what's important to you. These are real fears. And trust me, it does happen. When you go through a transformative spiritual awakening, you're different than what you used to be, most definitely. And yes, everything in your environment does tend to change. I don't have hardly anything in that I had. I mean, I have some stuff, but it's minimal compared to what I had in my life a few years ago. Very different, very different. Everything has changed. And I gotta say, everything is leveled up. So there's also this whole, like, you know, what is mine stays mine. And that's true. It's yours is yours. Nobody's taking it away from you. Your stuff is guarded. You're guarded, but there also needs to be, there's a time for change. As he says here, do you stay where you are and defend what is yours, or do you trust that I can take care of it for a time for you and move forward into a new era? For here I am, willing and quite able to protect this treasure, and yet you will not move forward. So again, that indecision, that fear of moving forward thing, really, really, again, coming through very strong here. And Oroki letting us know you have nothing to fear. Please turn it over. Have faith. So it's kind of like the opposite aspect to what we had like before. Like, you've got this faith, you're, you know, faithful and have all this stuff going on. And this is the other side of like the fear of being in faith, of having faith. And control and letting go, or, you know, holding on to things, not making the decisions that will change things. Because a lot of times when we make decisions, it changes things. And then it's like, well, what happens after things change? Then what? Then where are we? There's a song by The Neighborhood called, is it called Awake? I think it's called Awake. And it's about being afraid to wake up and not knowing if you're going to be the same person once you wake up, or is there's going to be somebody else to take your place. And what a lot of people have this fear of, actually the actualization of the transformation of true ascension and spiritual awakening sometimes really gets people afraid of, okay, then am I still going to know myself? Who am I then? You know, it's very scary for a lot of people to consciously free fall into nothingness about who they are, because they recognize what I've known about the world and myself is not all that is there, and there's more there. Am I ready to see it all? So that decision needs to be made. I'm ready to see it all. And I'm guarded and I'm guided in this journey to be able to see it all. And I'm going to start making the decisions that will take me higher and higher. We're going through a portal. We're on the trajectory of happy. We look at this with this King of Cups. Remember that beautiful energy. So here we are. This feels very male dominant. I mean, we have the King of Cups, we have India, we have Oroki, we have Raphael, we have all males showing up here, not a single female in our divine feminine and divine masculine going on here. So really, really interesting that in itself. I keep going back to this King of Cups, though, you guys. This beautiful energy, this surrendering to your loving soul self and this masculine body, and figuring that out. And no, it's not easy. And I do feel for the masculine collective. I've spoken to so many men in my work who are just trying to figure it out and understand themselves. And this also, interesting. Oroki is also coming through with this, interesting. Okay, so what I'm hearing now is, let's take this perspective of not only spiritual awakening, but sexual awakening, and the balance of sexual energy within the divine masculine. And this has a lot to do with shifting from heterosexual to bisexual, from homosexual to bisexual. There's a lot of that energy going on, a lot of confusion when it comes to that. Is this just a phase? Is this a real thing? What is going on? Why am I feeling this way? And it's because energies are balancing, and going through this gate is really going to solidify this for a lot of guys who thought, I'm 100% heterosexual. Well, things have happened in the last couple of years that are kind of taking off some of the dust that keeps people from really understanding themselves, or really can keep people easily in denial of their sexuality, of their attraction to different things. Excuse me. So I'm hearing a lot of that. And this thing with Oroki is kind of like, no, I need to defend my sexuality, and I'm not going to, veer from this, even though I'm having all these feelings and thoughts and maybe remembrances, and maybe understanding on a divine level that there's nothing wrong with being sexually attracted to anybody, male or female. It doesn't matter who you are. And that freedom of expression is so healing. This is why it feels so good when people come out of the closet and expose themselves to the world as, to what they are, is at least on that level. A lot of people say it's none of anybody's business, but when you live your life and you're out there in the world and you're doing things, you need to be free in your life. So it is your business to know yourself and live your life unafraid of the outside world and what they're going to say about you or feel about you. Now, there are places in the world where this just isn't safe, and people get murderized for, who they're attracted to or who they love, and that is a very sad fact. But the more energy that we put through in other parts of the world of standing up for this, in this balance in sexuality, especially from the male, from our male collective, from people who, would never, you would look at maybe and go, oh, that's a full-on heterosexual guy. He's got a wife and kids, and he's this whatever, it may appear that way, but inside of himself, he may be very attracted and have had, encounters and relationships with the same sex. You don't know. And there is a lot of that. And it's been very, very much, there's a term for it called the down low. And it's been very much on the down low. And it's getting to a point now with the collective, and this has been going on for a while now. It's getting to a point with the collective, especially the male collective, where coming out as something other than what you've projected on for your sexual orientation or life, whatever, however you want to put that, is going to kind of break into something else. So for a lot of guys, it's going to be accepting for themselves that, yeah, you know what, maybe I am bisexual. maybe I'm not going to act on that. Maybe I will, but I need to accept this, because the fact of the matter is that the reality, if we're stripping down bullshit, most people are bisexual. That doesn't mean that they're going to follow through, but that means that there's that sexual energy balance within themselves, that they can be attracted to a man or fall in love with a man. They can be attracted and fall in love with a woman. It's the same. It's not just, oh, that's a man. All men not attracted to, can't have feelings for. That whole idea doesn't seem to make sense anymore to a lot of people. And so that's kind of the new thing. 21221, I just looked at 2 hours, 12 minutes, 21 seconds. I just saw there as I said that. So there we go. Very much mirrored numbers and connectedness happening there as I'm saying all this stuff. So even expressing, I can understand how people are bisexual is a big thing. A lot of people have a hard time even wrapping their head around that. So it's steps, but this is it's something to understand. It's a component of this. And on the flip side, this is something to understand for the females in the collective, to not judge our male counterparts for being honest about themselves. Because for so long it's been like, well, if you're a man and you are attracted to men, then you're gay. Period. The end of discussion. And that's not true. And a lot of females are like, oh, well, I don't want to be with a man who's into guys or been with guys. That's gross, or this or that or whatever. They may think, well, this causes the males to be dishonest, not be fulfilled sexually, to go outside of their relationships, their marriage or relationships, because they're being judged and they're shamed for, they see that going on, so they're not going to do that. There's also the component of a lot of guys who don't want this known, because they can go off on their little man trips and have all the lovely sex they want to have when they're, women don't know about it, because they're not thinking that these guys are getting together with each other. But that happens a lot too. So there's also that. They don't want a lot of guys who engage in secret man-on-man sex. They don't want their women to know that this is what happens, what it does, more than people would have any idea of. And it's funny, because when you talk to guys who have engaged in this sort of thing, they think that they're like the only ones. It's like, you're not. There's a lot of people who do this, a lot of guys who do this, but it's like the understanding of bisexuality for women is just like here. The understanding of bisexuality for men is here. And that's because men themselves don't want that out. But it's coming out. It's coming to a point where it's just going to be more and more and more, where all of these different what are we's is just going to really kind of boil down to everybody is bisexual. And this is also really obvious with transsexuals, people that are trans, but they're still, who they're attracted to has nothing to do with how they identify. These are two different things. And that's a whole other discussion about identification. But this is just really about acceptance, about making the choice to accept how you are and who you are and all that good stuff, and being as healthy as you can be. When you're not in acceptance of yourself, you're not a healthy person. You're just not. You're carrying energy that is really negative and about yourself. So one of the keys to ascension is acceptance of oneself in your human form, and then on a soul-based level, what and who you are on a soul-based level, and that acceptance that can be very challenging as well. Take it from me. Um, very challenging as well. And it's a process. So this is also part of this as well for us, is also acceptance of who we are on a soul-based level. And that is something to wrap our head around, because for most people, they don't know, they don't understand that we can be different beings incarnate in a human body. Those are concepts that seem very fantasy and science fiction and impossible, when it's extraordinarily possible and very real, and it is happening with much of the, well, a decent amount of our population are not humans on the soul-based level. They're in human bodies. And when I say that, we're only human when we're in a body. When I say that, it's like a soul spark thing. What was your soul spark? Sort of thing. And understanding and recognizing and getting to that answer too is a really big thing, and accepting, like, oh, I'm not just like some random thing, or I'm not just a human, or no, it goes so far beyond that, and needing to make the decision to accept yourself, being authentic in that understanding. You never have to talk about it to the world until you're ready, and maybe you never do. It really depends on who and what you are. For me, it was ultra important to get the answer, to figure it out, to accept it to myself was not easy. Oh, you're an archangel. Oh, you're Archangel Gabriel. Like, what? How is that even a thing? I had no understanding that was even a thing that could be. I had to figure it out and get the messages and accept what I was being told, not by a person in a body telling me, but by what I was being told and what was coming and what all makes sense. And you get to a point where you just have to see it for what it is and understand it and accept it. Because if you don't, you're not doing what you're here to do. You're in denial, and and that's fine. You're not, you don't have to. It is your choice. But for some of us, it's absolutely like, this is what it is. This is what I need. I need the acceptance, the choice to accept will bring you to your knees. And that's where I ended up a few times, on my knees, just with my brain blowing out of my head at what was my reality. And so freeing, though. Very, very, the acceptance is very freeing, because there isn't the resistance, there isn't the fear. It's like, okay, so what? I was just so resistant to accepting of what I am and who I am, because it seemed crazy. And I'm not a crazy person. I'm not a delusional person. But when you're getting everything telling you this is what you are over and over and over again, and in so many different ways, it's like there comes a point where you're either going to shut it all down, turn your back from it, and pretend it doesn't exist, tell yourself you're nuts, and continue to live a life in the dark, or you're just going to strip down soul naked and say, yes, this is what it is. This is who I am. This is what I'm supposed to understand. And once you do that, it's like, for me, it was literally this being showered with golden light, just hearing the song of love and like a hallelujah kind of moment, like, oh, like it's happened, it was such a beautiful, profound experience. That whole day was my birthday, my Gabriel birthday, 10/17. And I want to bring home that it's not an easy thing to go through, but is extraordinarily worth it. And times like these are just meant to wash us of the debris of the bullshit that keeps us from actualizing our reality and understanding our authenticity and who we are. And it helps to blast it all off so we can see more clearly, we can understand, we can get out of our own way, know things, believe things, understand things, tap into the wisdom of what we are. And that was something Hiroki was saying too. Your wisdom is in place. That is still guarded. You're tapping into that too. And I'm allowing you this space to do that. You're safe here to do that. So beautiful, and something I hope that you guys all take really into true deep consideration, because it's not something that, you know, it's like, I gotta get this done, gotta get this done, gotta get this done, like gotta figure out myself. Just go through the motions of your life and the decisions that you make, and be open, and it will come. All these things will be figured out. I know that sometimes when, you know, a lot of people are kind of preoccupied with who they are, like figuring it out. It's like, am I this? Am I this? Am I this? Am I this? If this is it, is this it? Is this it? And I've had people just kind of keep coming to me asking, am I this? Am I this? Am I this? And I'm like, it doesn't work that way. It's not like, oh, somebody told me. I had somebody recently say, if somebody told me I'm this, and I'm like, that doesn't work that way either. You know, I can confirm for people, and I can feel and see what, you know, soul recognition and stuff. And for some people, I'm guided to confirm or to tell people to help them understand. And then sometimes it's like, you really need to, you need to go through the process. And it's not something somebody can tell you. It's something you know. It's something you figure out. It's something you come into awareness of. And to latch on to something that isn't true or isn't right is only going to stifle you. So you need to go through the process to get through it, to understand. Oh, wow. There's just 2:23:23. Time just is a ticking. Okay, guys, we're going to move on to our cartomancy. We're going to get our numbers. Wow. Okay. This time we have 10 of spades. Last time we had 10 of clubs. This time we have 5 of spades. We have 5 of spades, 10 of spades. We also got, again, this Joker. This has come out 3 times in these readings, with the Joker, with this, again, showing us the Stargate. So we're speaking directly about the Stargate. Within the Stargate, we're looking at the 15th. Pay attention to the 15th. 10 and 5s. 5s are always talking about change. And 10 is talking about creation. Creational energies, unity energies, and pillar energies. 5 is about new beginnings, change, seeing things differently, change in perspective. And we have the 7 of diamonds. I'm sure we had that last time too. So again, we have the 10 and the 7. Also 17, 5, 15, 5 and 7. We're at 12, 1 and 2. Please pay attention to the diamond imagery. Diamonds coming up. Okay, anything else here? So I'm hearing just, again, solidifying changes that are happening, changes with perspective, changes in your atmosphere, changes in your geography, could be your work, could be people in your life. A lot of change coming. But I'm hearing mostly within yourself, mostly your perspective, mostly your understanding, your recognition of yourself, your authenticity, your awareness, your aha moments are going to boom, 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 be coming at you hard. Okay. All right, guys, there we have it. Video number 2, clocking in at about 2:27 here. Thank you so much for being here for this Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine, for the Stargate 1111, for Pisces, Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. I love, is that right? Did I do it right? Yes, I got it. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I hope that these readings and this information resonated with you. If it did, please like, share, and subscribe. Please comment any questions or comments that you have about this, any insights that you'd like to share. I do really appreciate that. Thank you again so much for being here. Mwah. I love you so much. Infinite love and blessings. Don't forget, the key is to create. And I love you already. Bye, guys.